Solo con usted, yo bailo con usted, nada más con usted, un beso con usted.
Three reasons he moved on so fast. Reason number one, she was already there before you split up. Reason number two, he just can't be alone. And number three, he wasn't that invested in you as you thought he was.
When I push him away and he doesn't try harder, not my type.
So no means no, except for when no means maybe or possibly yes, but only in so much as that the no is followed by further pursuit of the yes? No wonder guys are confused.
Unpopular opinion, a lot of women want to help that man spend his money, but don't want to help him stack it, or even be there for him through the process of him stacking it. But then you want to treat him like he owe you something. But I digress.
If I'm in trouble and I'm trying to get out, then I'll come to him and be like, just babe, what can I do? What can I do to change your mind?
Yeah.
What can I do? And he'd be like, I love you too much. I'm like, okay, let me show you. Let me give you a reason to keep loving me that much.
Give a reason.
Let me give you a reason. He does so much for me and my kids. It costs me nothing.
So you do it for him because he deserves it?
He deserves it. And I find enjoyment off of getting his guard to come down.
Unpopular truth, but a lot of men don't realize they're being tested by their lady almost every single day. It's about whether or not you're willing to tolerate disrespect from her. Every time she digs at you in public in front of your friends or family, every eye roll she gives you, every time she walks away when you're talking to her, all the little things she does to disrespectful, she's watching to see how you react. And if you don't check it, she'll keep doing it. In fact, she'll probably get worse. And it's unacceptable, I know. I don't agree with it. And you can't buy respect back with flowers or dinners. You just have to make sure you don't put up with it to begin with.
What's going on, fellas? Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Leave a comment down below. Let's get back to the video.
Do you guys think that men think, I guess that's it?
I find it funny how many women are copying each other to make this very video. They say it in the exact tone, in the exact same way, and yet they're the ones saying, do you think men think? You obviously weren't when you made this video. And let's stop to think about the situations when this typically happens, when a woman is thinking this. When he didn't read her mind, when he didn't respond how she wanted. So instead of owning the miscommunication in that situation, you default to the men are dumb energy, which couldn't be further from the truth. You're basically, instead of working on your communication, you just assume it's men's fault. Okay.
Just the fact you went searching for this camera. What was it today?
No, I just saw some online that was pretty crazy. There's this theory that your ankles make random noises throughout the night. I was thinking I could put your ankles to your ears later and then we could find out.
You get on nerves. You know that?
Do I?
You know what nobody tells women? That we're allowed to have bad days without turning them into a full-blown crisis. When you're having a bad day, suddenly everything from your past comes rushing back. But here's what I need you to understand. Having a bad day doesn't mean you have a bad life. Feeling low today doesn't erase everything good that exists. You don't need to analyze why you feel this way. You don't need to trace it back to your childhood or find some deep meaning in it. Sometimes you're just having a bad day, and that's completely okay. Life isn't about being happy all the time. So on days like this, stop pressuring yourself. Don't force productivity. Don't overthink it. Just give yourself permission to feel whatever you're feeling. Read a book, watch your comfort show, lie in bed if that's what you need. Listen to your body. Do what brings you peace.
This is the exact moment a man emotionally checks out, and most women miss it. Doesn't happen after a fight. Doesn't happen when things go wrong. It happens when things feel too easy. You're showing up, you're consistent, you're giving your time, your energy, your attention, and it feels like you're doing everything right. But this is where it shifts. Because instead of building attraction, you're removing the need for effort altogether. The attraction doesn't grow when everything is certain too early. It grows in curiosity, in pursuit, in him feeling like he actually has to earn more of you. So when he starts pulling back, it's not random. It's not confusing. It's the moment he realized he didn't have to try anymore. For more tidbits on love, I'm Jules.
You know, a lot of these modern women keep on saying that men are intimidated, they're afraid of strong women, when really it's just they're tired. They're tired of difficult women who call themselves strong. Strength and difficulty are not the same thing.
You guys want to see an example of a woman that is defining a specific dating strategy that is so toxic? Here she is.
Sometimes you have to keep forgiving him while looking for someone to replace him. It's called constructive elimination by substitution. Don't let a boyfriend stop you from finding your husband.
Yeah, I think there's already actually a term for this, and it's called monkey branching. It is a strategy that has been used for a long time by a specific type of woman. A woman that really cares more about just moving up in the socioeconomic world through men. She doesn't want to do it herself. She wants to utilize men. So she goes from one man to the next as soon as she finds a man that she deems better. And usually that has to do with him like making a lot more money or having a higher social status. Men are not surprised by this. They see this happen day in and day out. So for you to make a definition that sounds a little bit more appealing to other women and then broadcasting it as if this is something that's totally okay to do, that's a little messed up.
Women just do not care about men's opinions.
She's lying. Yes, you do. Men, stop paying women like this attention for 5 minutes, and they will show you how much they care about what you think of them.
Explain in detail why men suck. I mean, Jesus, where do I start? I don't have all day.
Do you see how many videos we pull of women just hating men?
Do you actually like me, or do you just like that I'm giving you attention?
Imagine going into a relationship with this level of distrust.
I told my situationship to either choose me or leave me alone, and he's replied.
When guys know, they know. And if a guy doesn't know, isn't sure about you, that means it's not you.
A lot of good men are still operating under patriarchal standards, and that is becoming increasingly harder for women to ignore right now.
Holy man alive. Don't date liberal women, ever. It's a freaking nightmare. So let me give you some advice, guys.
Good boy.
That was the only right move by that man, because this is my theory. My theory, I can tell by the tone of her voice that it was very unnatural for her to say good boy to this man. This man is not used to that. He is probably used to being the one to say good girl, if you know what I mean. Like, there's certain dynamics in a relationship. Both dynamics can work, but I don't think that this was the natural course of things for her to say good boy. Now, for whether it was for the video to post on social media, it probably was, or if it was some sort of like relationship test, I think that both are possible. And if you guys are getting this in your real life, it's probably not for a video. That woman that's doing this to you, she's testing you. And if I know anything about you guys, you do not like to be tested. Hence, again, why his reaction is golden. Do not accept it. However, the beer didn't deserve it.
New Orleans ladies, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to tell you. I don't have any, like, where are the men? And I know you're like, no, babe, that's what we're asking you. But now I'm asking you, where are they? Because I've had like 3 seemingly good men respond to my call for single men in New Orleans. I don't understand. And I see some of you men looking at my videos and my profile and saving them. What are you waiting for? Send me a message. Stop being weird.
Ladies, unfortunately, this is not a location issue. This is something that is happening across the board everywhere. Because men today have listened to the message that you prefer the bear over a man, the message that you don't want to be approached in public, the message that good men are like a needle in a haystack. And unfortunately, that means that he is going to have to work very, very, very hard at convincing you that he's one of those good men. Unfortunately, that means that that man is going to have an immense amount of energy to put in your direction. man. And honestly, in today's society where he's putting in a ton of effort just to survive, just to work a job, to build up his career, to build up his finances, that means that for a lot of these good men, dating has been pushed off to the side. It's not a priority to them. So you ask where to find these good men, they're either home, working, or just trying to avoid people.
A lot of these modern women continue to say silly stuff and talk about how men are intimidated by their success and their lifestyle, and it's not really that. I'm just uninterested is really what it is. It's two different things. I'm uninterested and I don't want to be bothered by that foolishness.
I would consider that to be an excellent question. What exactly is the justification in someone's mind to charge a cancellation fee to someone that canceled last minute? So, the grand total comes out to $1,081. Right. Now, just looking through how much they spent on some items makes me think that they're possibly thinking about charging a cancellation fee because they might not have enough money to get through the month if that's how much money they consider spending on beauty tools. I mean, let's just take a look at this. Really? That much for an eyelash curler? And then there's these. Seems quite practical and reasonable after all. But ladies, if you're spending that much money to look a certain way, maybe you would be better off working on your personality, and then possibly maybe the guy wouldn't have canceled on you in the first place.
Hating men isn't going to help. Like, it's just not. Something that I didn't realize needed to be said was that when people say, or at least when I say, I hate men or men are trash, I don't mean literally all men. I mean men as like a systemic issue. The fact that it's 2026 and we're living in this and I am bisexual, came from a relationship with a woman and chose to be with a man, that means that he's a good one. And that's how I feel about a lot of the men in my life. When I say I hate men or men are trash, I mean the ones that are treating women like shit. I mean the ones that are hurting women. I mean the ones that are making it unsafe for women. Majority of mass unalivings, particularly with men. It's mostly men. Assaults on women, mostly men. Like, men are dangerous for women and each other, but not all men. Obviously, there are situations of weaponized incompetence and low EQ and all of these problematic things, toxic masculinity. But when I say I hate men, I don't literally mean every single man. I don't think that every single man is less in value to a woman. Do I think women are magical? Do I think women are special? Do I think women in many things are superior to the well-being of the world and to our societies and each other? 100%. But I just hope people understand and feel similarly to me that we don't literally mean all of you. You're not all bad.
I get money for my nails? Yeah, of course. I got money. Yeah, of course. Here you go, babe. And then my friend's nails too. Ah, money for your friends' nails too. How many of you are going? There's 3 of us. All right, yeah. I got no money for you guys. Wait, you can't forget about lunch. About lunch. Silly me for the 3 of you guys, right? All right, yeah. I got it. And then me and my girls are going shopping spree. How can I forget the shopping spree?
The sad reality is when a woman does find a man that's pretty much like this and he gives everything that he possibly can, she doesn't end up respecting him. She'll end up draining him and then she leaves him for somebody else. It gives her so much less. And unfortunately, when these men are constantly showing up with consistency, she takes them for granted. The thing is, a woman that truly loves you will want you to be financially stable and spend your money wisely. Like, yeah, she'll enjoy a treat from you here and there. Maybe if you offer to pay for her nails or take her to lunch or whatever, but she won't expect you to pay for her friends too. And she'll want to make sure that you're heading towards your financial goals, whether that's investing or saving. She won't just sit there and take from you. And it's so sad because the sweet guys out there who are like this end up getting hurt the most.
A man who yearns.
Here comes the.
Is a man who earns, y'all.
Here comes a little more Delulu logic. I'd like to call this one both sides of the coin.
You want to know what's crazy is the fact that men used to write love letters when they went to war.
Who the cares?
Men used to love loudly and proudly. Now men are like, what do you bring to the table? Are we splitting the bill?
You can't handle the truth.
Flag on the play. This is what happens when non-traditional women expect traditional treatment from a man and consider it the bare minimum, although they don't bring the traditional energy that the women used to bring that got this treatment back in the day.
You ain't never lied.
Listen to this guy.
These will smash a rich celebrity for free, but then they'll expect their normie wage cuck boyfriend to pay for their bills, bro.
See, and this is why I'm like not interested in dating. Like it actually like disgusts me. I'm meant to be in the time period in the 50s, 60s where men would love proudly and properly.
Hey, bitch, come here.
Like men, not like little. And I'm too much of a romantic. Like I watch Bridgerton. It's the like highlight of my year when it comes out.
I wish you really were playing dumb.
Another Delulu Delilah who thinks that life is a romantic comedy.
I'm too much of a romantic for this. Everyone just wants to hook up. I can't.
I think we've heard enough. The moral to this story is simple. Date your speed and be willing to take whatever comes with it, but never let anybody else control your life. Because if she's not yearning for you the way you're yearning for her, show her ass taillights and tailpipes.
You want to know about the game? You better ask somebody.
A lot of these modern women think that men are scared to lose them. Why would I be scared to lose you? Why would I be scared to lose you? Like, there's nothing about you that's, you're not giving me anything. You dress crazy. When I ask you to not wear something, then you catch an attitude. When I ask you, hey man, be careful around those types of friends that you got. They gonna lead you down the path of destruction. You don't listen and you fool around, and they almost get you into a situation where you compromise your safety or yourself or who you are, your morals and values, and you still don't listen. You still keep on doing the same thing.
Men who are secure don't get upset when women say all men.
Oh, interesting strategy. Anyone else see what they're doing?
Emotionally regulated men don't get upset when women say all men.
Do you get it yet?
Because we understand why they would say that.
Oh, I absolutely understand why a lot of women, as well as men, would say that, because they're speaking from a place of emotion, not rationale and logic.
No one is criticizing masculinity. What they are criticizing are men who don't understand why women would say all men.
Personally, I tend to criticize those things that I find to be illogical. And saying something is true about an entire group of people when it's only some members of that group doing it is highly illogical, even bigoted.
Men have always dominated society. And for women to say all men, we understand that it is not an attack against all men. It is a plea that men understand where they are coming from.
Believe it or not, I think a lot of women out there would have a lot more luck if they actually put forth their arguments in a rational manner instead of relying on emotional pleas.
I've never had my heart broken because I think I'm too logical. But now I feel like I'm out here flailing in the wind. I could break my heart at this point because I'm locked in.
Are you mentally prepared if that were to ever happen?
I will absolutely have my heart broken in this marriage. And I think that it's necessary for our next level. I think that people break your heart because you love them and you have expectations of them and they fall short of your expectations. But that doesn't mean that they're wrong for you, nor does that mean that you should leave them. Maybe I'm ready for heartbreak. I'm not prepared because I haven't experienced it. But I think if that were to happen, I think it would be necessary for our next level of evolution. And maybe I just look at things crazy. Vice versa. I think I'll break his heart because heartbreak just comes down to severe disappointment, right? Sadness, misunderstanding, miscommunication, space. You feel like you've been let down to a crazy degree. That's heartbreak, right?
Women are forgetting how to be feminine.
So I went on a date with this guy, right? And I am someone who is not a flirt. Unfortunately, I don't know how to flirt. All I got is what I got, which is what I look like. And usually that does me the trick. But with this guy, he's playing a little Mr. hard to get. Okay, so I invite him to the jacuzzi. I was like, hey, let's go to the jacuzzi because,
Okay.
Everybody love a jacuzzi date. We get to see each other in our bathing suits. We get to see what our bodies look like without being naked. It's brilliant. And so anyways, I'm in a jacuzzi. Okay, he pulls up. He's here. He gets in the jacuzzi. We're chilling. Okay, we're talking, small talk, getting, kind of cute, telling him about my life, him telling about his life. And anyways, so he's telling me about some whatever bullshit that I'm not listening to. And in my brain, I'm thinking, okay, how do I get this guy to kiss me? How do I get him to touch my lips with his lips?
And so
She almost
I'm
sounds
calculating. Okay.
exactly
And
like
this is
a man.
someone who doesn't know how to flirt. I unfortunately do not go on enough dates to know how to flirt. So I was really trying not to mess this up with this guy, because this guy was literally gorgeous. And so I'm like, okay, I gotta think. He's not making the first moves, so that means this is up to me. And so I'm sitting,
Okay.
Anyways, I'm sitting here and I'm thinking, okay, I got it. I'm gonna give him the eyes. Yeah, that's gonna work. And so I start like giving the eyes. By the way, I don't even know what the eyes are. Okay, I don't really even know what that is. I just know like you look down and you just kind of like look through your eyebrows. I don't know. I saw it on TikTok. And so anyways, I'm like trying to give him the eyes. And I guess
Who does that work
I
on?
was not looking seductive. I guess I was looking quite concerning. And he decided to be like, hey, like, are you all right? Are you okay? And I'm just sitting there and I'm like, and I completely break my like, you know, fierce look. And I was like, I'm all right. I'm good. Are you all right? And the rest of that night was really awkward, and I was just trying to look as normal as possible, and I never did try the eyes again. That, by the way, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
It doesn't work at all.
Right.
So, never saw him again. Wasn't a success. I'm never flirting again.
What is going on?
I think he was, I'm not sure.
You know, I guess, you know, it'll be good to be clear about a lot of this stuff, right? I don't think it's necessarily all women that do this, but it is about your attitude, right? It is about your mindset. This pervasive mindset that I think has become way too common, right? Obviously, like I said, there are good women out there, solid women, but it's just the attitude that a lot of modern women carry. It's the entitlement, the lack of accountability, just thinking that you're the greatest of all time. That's the problem. And men are tired of running into this sort of attitude and entitlement. Oh, he's intimidated by me. No, he's intimidated by that attitude, by your energy, by the chaos that you're about to bring into his life.
Women don't want to hear the truth because women don't want to be accountable for their actions, and they want to blame all their actions on their emotions. Yeah. And women, that's like they talk about Kevin Samuels. Right. I don't necessarily like the lane that he goes with what he says. I don't like the way he says it, but I agree with a lot of what he says. And women, I lost so many followers because I said I agree with him. They were really upset with me. And they said, Kevin Samuels is gay and he's this. And I said, he's none of those things. He's just speaking the truth. Yeah. And the truth is you want a high-valued man, which is fine if you want him, but does he want you?
Nice.
And if he doesn't want you, then your expectations are too high. You're not being realistic with your standards and boundaries for a relationship because you want this high-valued man who makes six figures and he's over 6 feet tall and he's got to be handsome with this amazing body. And here you are, overweight, obese, 3 kids, living with your parents, no education. Is he looking for you? And if he's not looking for you, then you're not being realistic with your expectations because there are a lot of good men out there who are interested in you that you are passing up because you're not being realistic.
Amazing.
And it's oftentimes because you idolize relationships on social media and you're looking for that.
On my radio show, I have the biblical questions that I put out this week. The biblical question is, what do men and women want from each other? What do men and women want?
I can only say what I want. No,
yeah, you're right about that.
Can someone explain to me why I just saw an ad or a post for an app called T, where these women can post photos of a man. They can post all of the comments that they want. This particular one had 132 comments from women discussing a man, even down to how many red flags he has. So let me guess, these women are self-diagnosing these men without any credentials based off their experience. So it's basically just another app to exploit these men and their experiences with these men. And it goes even further than are we dating the same guy, because it's an app where a bunch of women can talk to each other and it's for women only and you have to get approved to be on it. So these men, again, can't even defend themselves. And that whole idea is that these women need protection from these men, but very much in this ad had absolutely nothing to do with protecting themselves from this man. It was all about supposed red flags and this self-diagnosis for these men. And of course, I will never claim that there's no such thing as a non-dangerous man, obviously, but this whole idea of having an app to protect women, as if women just sit there innocently and do absolutely nothing. The majority of the time, men are at the mercy of a woman's emotions. So tell me how these women are going to get online, be in a bad mood, say whatever they want in the moment and have zero consequences. And yet it's a woman's only app. So these men cannot even know, or they're unable to see what is being said about them. So the moment that a man rejects a woman or says something she doesn't like, now he's a sexist, narcissist, sociopath, or whatever she wants to say. And of course, it's to protect other women. Even though it is slanderish, it is, unheard of, it's unhinged. It is so diabolical to put these men in this class. And I would say that this is a great idea, but the whole ad or the whole post was circulated around, oh, look, ladies, look, he has 16 red flags. Again, tell me how or who is diagnosing these men as having red flags if you're not a therapist. You cannot convince me that this is not a perfect example of how women are the protected class, because how can you slander someone's name to this extent and have zero consequences? Okay, bye.
A lot of times for modern women, what really hurts them is that men, a lot of times, as modern women see it, men will choose the boring woman. Men will choose the regular woman, the woman that might not be all that in your eyes, right? But he's happy with her. She might not wear a lot of makeup. She might not dress the flashiest and most fashionable, but that woman is good to him, and she's peaceful, and she helps him in the same way that he helps her. And so a lot of times now, men are choosing calm over chaos. They're choosing a life of drama-free, headache-free, everlasting peace. Right? So you can sit up there and talk about how did she get him? Why couldn't I? She's easy. He's intimidated by me, and she's going to put up with his BS. And really, that's a coping mechanism. You're just a loser. You're just a loser.
Right now, too many grown women saying, no, hookup culture's okay. Yeah, baby, get what you need to get. They already ruined their lives. Don't let these grown 30, 40, 50-year-old single, bitter, jaded women ruin these young 20-something-year-olds that actually still have a shot. These young 18-year-olds that still have a shot.
That's how I feel.
And that's the problem. There are too many women that are out here ruining the shot for young women because we're not being honest. We're saying, no, baby, you can be liberated. You can go on this sex walks. You can feel good inside of your body, and you can do whatever you want. What life do they have that you want? The women that are saying this, they're single and jaded and bitter. The majority. Are there exceptions to the rule? Yes, of course there are. There's always an exception to the rule, but we don't speak to the exception. We speak to the majority. And the majority of women are getting used up and recycled by a bunch of different men that are never going to wife them. They don't want to marry the man that is actually good for them because he doesn't look good. And the fact that the 4 6s is what matters the most to a woman in 2026, that's the problem.
Yeah.
The measuring stick is so low.
I just feel like people, yes, what you're saying is should understand that that's not what people do.
I ain't gonna tell people what should anything. All I'm saying is if you choose to be a liberated woman, the odds of you marrying, being chosen by a high value, high earning, masculine man is a steep decrease. The more men you've slept with, the odds are even worse. That's just what it is. And that's the bed you made, you get to sleep in it. And some people might say, well, what if I'm changed now? I'm sorry for you, move. And don't ever talk about your past. And if it gets brought up, don't lie, but pray to God it never gets brought up, because that is important. And I think that that's the point for me of this podcast.
I would come home and I would strip off my dress clothes and I would get into my sweats and my messy bun so So I would dress up all day long for other people, but what did my husband get?
So let's look at the first thing. She observed that she was giving her husband her leftovers. She was getting all dressed up and taking care of the day and taking charge, but when she got home, she wasn't showing up for him with that same kind of energy.
And I gotta tell you, when I started showing up, I made the decision that if our marriage was gonna last, it was gonna start with me. I made that decision. He moved to our guest bedroom. He opened up a separate bank account. He told me I want a divorce. We married the wrong people.
So this is key. She started to look inward instead of what is so much easier, pointing the blame at your spouse and saying, well, this is what they're not doing well and this is how they're not showing up. She decided to look inward and identify, what do I need to do to save this relationship? And then what's even more is that she continued to do that even though he wasn't showing up for her in the way that he wanted. Let's finish it up.
I would make him dinner and he would come up and he would say, why are you making me dinner? I am not eating with you. Stop. And I showed up and I showed up. Our marriage was completely healed, saved, restored. I said, what changed? And he said, when you changed, even though the way I was treating you and you kept treating me with grace and love and forgiveness, I thought, wow, what a gift. There's no way I can let this go. And I tell you all that to say, even the impossible situations are possible, but it starts with you.
This last part is so key. She continued to show up even when it didn't look like it was going well. When he was saying, don't bring me dinner, I don't want these things, I'm pursuing the divorce, she continued in spite of that. So we do coach people in our private program who have a spouse who has one foot out the door. And the number one thing that we see that causes things to not go well is the person quits too soon. The minute there's opposition from their spouse, they give up. But this woman, she kept fighting. She kept showing up. Consistency over time creates credibility. And in that husband's mind, credibility was established when she proved, I've changed because I want to be a better woman, not just because I'm hoping that you'll stay with me. And that's the resolve that you guys have to have. If you have one spouse out the door, I'm going to do this because it's the right thing to do, in spite of the risk that you may or may not choose to stay with me.
One thing about these modern women, when they make a mistake, they'll try to work around it as much as they can in order to prove you wrong. But when they realize, oh shoot, he's the only way. What am I going to do now? What are you going to do now? I don't know, but it's not going to have anything to do with me. You see some of these women weasel their way. They will track a man down. They'll track a man down. Oh man, you know, I got your phone number from a friend of a friend. Which one? Because I just changed my number a couple weeks ago. Nobody has my number except my mama and my daddy. Which friend? Which one? Lying, stalking me is what you're doing. Modern women aren't afraid to do this type of stuff. They're really not. There was a woman, you know, a lot of these modern women are creepy. Don't let them tell you otherwise. There's a show that I was watching, and the women, there was a couple of ladies talking about a specific lady that had supposedly met or ran into her husband and married him. And when they watched, you know, a documentary about it, they found out, oh shoot, she didn't actually run into him randomly. It looks like she sought him out. It looks like she scoped him out and then she made her advances on him. We know, because modern women do this. They don't want to be called creepy, but they do this type of stuff. And this is what a lot of these modern women do, especially when they make a mistake and they try to weasel their way back into somebody else's life. They will scope a man out. Oh man, I just ran into you. Wow, long time no see. Isn't it though? What are you doing in my town? How did you even find out I was here? Oh, well, you know, I just showed up in Seattle. You don't have no family in Seattle. You live way on the other side of the country. What are you doing over here in Seattle? Exactly. These modern women are creepy.